Okay, so if you're an entrepreneur, a creator, or you run a small business, you totally know this feeling, right? Your digital toolbox is just overflowing. It seems like every single day there's a new app, a new plugin, some new software that promises to save you a ton of time, make you more money, and just completely change the game. The market is absolutely flooded with these incredible offers, especially those super tempting lifetime deals.
But here's the thing. What's the real cost of that incredible-looking lifetime deal? What are you actually getting for that one-time payment? We're going to unpack that because, the reality is a whole lot more complex than just the price tag. You've seen the headlines, right? Especially on places like AppSumo. They just scream at you, the ultimate Canva alternative, or the best SEMrush killer, and all for one single payment. It honestly feels like a digital gold rush, this promise that you can replace all those expensive monthly subscriptions and just equip your entire business for a tiny fraction of the cost.
But let's get real for a second and pull back that shiny marketing curtain. That promise to save you time and money, well, that can turn into a nightmare of broken links and 404 errors really fast. That whole boost your sales pitch, it might mean you're wrestling with features that don't even work as advertised. And lifetime access? Well, that can mean you've got a lifetime subscription to a product the developers walked away from years ago, leaving you totally exposed. The big takeaway here is simple. You have to look way past the sales page.
So let's break this down into a couple of parts. We're going to start with the most common and maybe the most frustrating problem. The tool you just spent your money on is just defective. It's broken, or it flat out doesn't do what the sales page swore it would. And look, this isn't just about feeling ripped off and trying to get a refund. No, this problem is so widespread that it's actually become the focus of some serious legal research. This paper right here, for example, from the Cyber International Journal of Advanced Law, it goes deep into how our consumer protection laws are really struggling to keep up with the digital world.
At the very heart of this is a legal concept called product liability. Think of it this way. It's pretty simple. If you buy a toaster and it explodes in your kitchen, the manufacturer is responsible, right? That's like a cornerstone of how we buy and sell things. But what happens when your brand new social media scheduler decides to delete all your accounts? Applying that same idea to software? Well, that's the new legal frontier. So how does a court even decide if your new software is legally defective? Well, one of the main tools they use is something called the consumer expectation test. It all boils down to a really simple question. Did this product fail to perform the way a totally reasonable person would expect it to? So if you buy an app that's supposed to fix broken links and it actually ends up creating more of them, well, it fails the test. This is exactly where that shiny marketing page smacks right into a dysfunctional product.
And that right there leads to the million-dollar question, if the product is defective, who's actually on the hook? Is it the developer, who might be totally anonymous and living halfway across the world? Or is it the marketplace, the website, that promoted and sold you the deal in the first place? This is the super complicated debate around platform liability. And honestly, right now, the law is still playing catch-up, which leaves us, the consumers, kind of stuck in this legal gray area.
Okay, so a buggy product is one thing. That's bad enough. But there's a deeper, more invisible danger that we really need to talk about: security. What if that great deal isn't just defective? What if it's actually a backdoor into your entire business?
And to really get a sense of the scale here, just look at the data. This isn't some rare problem. According to CISA, that's the US Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, hundreds of new software vulnerabilities are discovered and cataloged every single week. The digital world is in this constant state of finding and fixing flaws. It never stops.
And what's truly alarming when you look at the data is just how severe these flaws are. CISA's weekly reports, like this sample one here, show that high-severity flaws are often the most common category found. We're not talking about minor cosmetic bugs. We're talking about critical issues that could lead to massive data breaches or a complete takeover of your system, which brings up that critical question for any lifetime deal. Who's going to be around to fix these flaws 1 year or even 5 years down the road?
And don't for a second think this is just about some obscure, weird software nobody uses. No way. The CISA Bulletin is packed with vulnerabilities in the exact kinds of tools that entrepreneurs and creators rely on every single day. We're talking about WordPress plugins with flaws that let an attacker basically become an administrator, AI libraries that can be tricked into attacking your own server, even code editors that let people just bypass your security. The risk is woven right into the fabric of our digital toolkits.
So with all these risks piling up, defective products, hidden security flaws, what can you actually do? The goal isn't to just avoid all these deals forever. It's about adopting a much smarter, way more critical mindset before you click buy.
This is basically the new playbook. Step 1, you have to read beyond the hype. Dig into real user reviews. Don't just trust the sales page. 2, recognize that the risks are twofold. A tool can be completely useless and incredibly dangerous at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. Third, you've got to understand that you actually do have rights. Legal ideas like product liability exist for a reason. And finally, demand transparency. The more we push these platforms to actually vet their sellers and stand behind the products they promote, the safer the marketplace is going to get for all of us.
So where is all this headed? Well, the good news is that legal experts and policymakers are already debating the path forward. We're probably moving towards a future with much clearer rules for platforms, much stricter verification for sellers, and way easier ways for regular people to resolve disputes. You know, the Wild West of the digital marketplace is slowly but surely becoming a bit more civilized.
Which brings us to our final big question that kind of lingers over all of this. In this really complex ecosystem of developers, platforms, and us, the users, who should hold the ultimate responsibility for a product's success and its safety? Is it the developer who made it, the platform that sold it, or at the end of the day, is it on us, the consumers, to navigate all these risks? The answer is probably somewhere in the middle, and figuring that out is the next great challenge for our digital world.